Hello friends, welcome to the Divine Tree.
Ramayana is one of the two major Sanskrit epics of ancient India, the other being the Mahabharata. Along with the Mahabharata, it forms the Hindu Itihasa or the Hindu mortal history. The epic, traditionally ascribed to the Maharishi Valmiki, narrates the life of Rama, the legendary prince of the Kosala kingdom. It follows his 14-year exile to the forest by his father King Dasharatha. It follows his 14-year exile to the forest by his father King Dasharatha on request of his stepmother Kaikeyi. His travels across the forests of India with his wife Sita and brother Lakshmana. The kidnapping of his wife by Ravana, the great king of Lanka, resulting in a war with him, and Ram's eventual return to Ayodhya to be crowned as the king. This is the culmination point of the epic. It is the most sacred book and is read by millions of people every year in order to attain spiritual knowledge. The epic is traditionally divided into several major kandas or books that deal chronologically with the major events in the life of Rama. Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aryana Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, Yuddha Kanda, and Uttara Kanda. The division into seven kandas. Balakanda, the book of the childhood, is the first book of Valmiki Ramayana, which is one of the two great epics of India. The book consists of 76 sargas or chapters of Sanskrit verse. The Balakanda begins with the ascetic Valmiki questioning the famous sage Narada if there is any man who is truly virtuous. Narada replies that there is such a man and that his name is Rama. He then goes on to briefly describe Rama's physical characteristics and to briefly summarize the story of Ramayana. The glorious Dasharatha, king of equally glorious Ayodhya, cannot conceive a son with his three wives, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. His minister and guru, sage Vasishtha, advises him of a solution, that to perform a Rishya Shringha or a sun getting ceremony. The king gets Rishya Shringha who performs the ceremony. The ceremony goes off very gloriously and well. Meanwhile, the gods were having a problem. The Rakshasa demon known as Ravana was causing a huge problem because due to a boon he had received from Brahma. He was invincible to gods, celestial snakes, and devils. The gods ask Narayana what to do, and he decides to incarnate himself on earth as a man. When Ravana had asked for his boon, the foolish demon had forgotten to mention from protection of men. Vishnu thereupon incarnates himself as celestial porridge and has himself handed to Dasharatha by a red colored being who appeared out to be Rishashringa's sacrificial fire. From the Agni emerged Lord Sri Rama in the form of a porridge. Dashratha gives the porridge to his three queens to eat, and they give birth to four sons between the three of them. Queen Kaushalya gives birth to baby Rama. Queen Kaikeyi gives birth to baby Bharata. And Queen Sumitra gives birth to twins, Shatrughna and baby Lakshmana. As they had been born now, they had needed a mentor, a guru, to teach them the value of life, the way of living. This opportunity was taken by Rishi Vishwamitra. Rishi Vishwamitra trained the sons of King Dashrath in the art of firing missile arrows imbibed with secret chants. When Ram was 16 years old, Rishi Vishwamitra visited the court of King Dashratha, where the king received him with great honor. Rishi Vishwamitra lived in the forest and was performing great sacrifices. However, the Rakshas, Maricha and Subahu were disturbing sacrificial rites. He knew that Rama had taken birth on earth to protect his devotees, and so he decided to visit King Dasharatha to ask him for favor. The rishi asked the king to send his sons to forest with him. The king hesitated at first, but then even he agreed to do. Rishi Vishwamitra took Rama and Lakshmana to his ashram as he needed Ram's help in slaying several Rakshasas that had been harassing him and several other rishis living in the area. Ram encountered his first problem, a female Rakshasi, Taraka. Taraka, a cursed Yaksha demoness. When asked to slay the Rakshasi, Ram considered it sinful to kill a woman. Rishi Vishwamitra explained that evil had no gender. The killing of Taraka liberates the Yaksha's soul, who was cursed for a sin and had to adopt a Rakshasi's body. Rishi Vishwamitra presented Ram and Lakshman with several astras and sastras, the divine weapons that would be used of them in future. Ram and Lakshmana were taught the advanced military arts and given the knowledge of all the weapons and their uses. Rishi Vishwamitra told Ram and Lakshman that soon, along with some of his disciples, he would perform a yajna for 7 days and nights that would be great benefit to the world, and the two princes must keep a close watch for the two sons of Taraka, Marich and Subahu, who would try to defile the yajna at all cost. The prince therefore kept a strong vigil for all the days, and on the 7th day they spotted Marich and Subahu coming with a whole host of Rakshasas to pour bones and blood into the fire, which is considered very unholy. Ram pointed his bow at the two, and with one arrow killed Subahu, and with the other arrow killed Marich. However, Marich succeeded in escaping from there, even though wounded. Lakshmana dealt with the rest of the Rakshasas of the army. The yajna was completed successfully with the help of Ram and Lakshmana. And so, just on another occasion, a female child was found in a furrow in the ploughed field, and for that reason she is regarded as the daughter of Bhumi, the goddess of the earth. She was found and adopted by Janaka, king of Mithila, and his wife Sunayana. Overwhelmed with joy, the king regarded the child as a miraculous gift of the god. The king brought her to his palace and raised her as her own daughter. She was named Janaki, and Narada called her Sita. In her childhood, Sita, while playing with her sisters, had unknowingly moved the table over which the Shiv Dhanush, the divine bow of Lord Shiv, gifted to King Janaka by Rishi Parshuram for safekeeping, presented to Rishi Parshuram by the god Shiv, had been placed. This incident was noticed by King Janaka, and he decided to make this incident as the backdrop for Swayambar. Sita Swayambar in Balakanda. Rama, while going to Mithila for Sita Swayambar, along with Rishi Vishwamitra and Lakshman, stopped at then hermitage of Rishi Gautam. Rishi Vishwamitra narrated Ahalya's story to Ram and asked him to free her. Ahalya, the wife of Rishi Gautam, was a beautiful woman. Indra, the king of gods, was tempted and decided to seduce her with trickery. He asked the moon to become a cock and crow early, fooling Rishi Gautam into thinking the dawn had arrived and he had to go for doing the penances. While the rishi was bathing at the river, Indra assumed Gautam's form and visited Ahalya, fooling her into thinking he was her husband. When Gautam returned, he encountered Indra emerging from his hut. Spiritually powerful, Gautam employed his divine vision to see the whole episode. Enraged, he cursed Indra with impotence and cursed the moon, which had an unblemished look, until then to have spots. Rishi Gautam, in a blind rage, also cursed his wife, Ahalya, to turn in a boulder. Innocent of any intentional wrongdoing, Ahalya begged for forgiveness. Gautam relented somewhat and said that when Ram was incarnated, he would bless her and break the curse. Immediately hearing this story, Rama touched the boulder with his foot, and Ahalya was immediately released from the curse. She fell to Ram's feet and washed his feet with her tears. She felt that her curse had become her fortune, as she got the opportunity to seek Ram's divine form. She then returned to her husband's hut. Then the trio again continued on their quest for the Swayambar. Ram, Lakshman and Rishi Vishwamitra reached the beautiful capital of Mithila. The king of Mithila, Janaka, welcomed the great Rishi and inquired about Rama and Lakshmana, who were accompanying him. The brothers then set out to discover the beautiful city and visited Janak's garden. It was the first meeting of Ram and Sita. Sita had fallen for Ram and prayed to Devi Gauri that she helped her to attain Ram as her husband. King Janaka had arranged a Swayambar as foretold. King Janak sent a messenger to invite Rama, Lakshmana and Rishi Vishwamitra to attend, for which they reached, which included a contest. King Janak announced that whoever lifting the Shiv Dhanush from its place and string and shoot an arrow with it could be married to Sita. Many princes tried and failed to lift the mammoth bow. Rama effortlessly lifted, stringed and broke the divine bow. Sita approached Rama and placed a wreath around his neck. Janaka sent messengers to Ayodhya from where a marriage procession consisting of Ram's family, friends and well-wishers departed for Mithila. That Swayambar was won by Rama. Thereafter the two kings met and Janaka bestowed Sita upon Rama and his second daughter Urmila on Lakshmana. To Bharata and Shatrughna, Janaka gave away Mandavi and Srutakirti, daughters of Kushadhwaja, the younger brother of Janaka. After the Swayambar, Ram, Sita and the entire royal family began their journey back. Rishi Parshuram confronted with them. He was the sixth avatar of Vishnu and found it unbelievable that anybody could break the bow of Shiva. He had brought Lord Vishnu's bow and challenged Ram to string the bow and fight a duel with him. Ram respectfully bowed to Rishi Parshuram, and within a twinkling of an eyelid, snatched the bow of Vishnu, stringed it, placed an arrow, and pointed it straight at the challenger's heart. Ram asked Rishi Parshuram what he would give as a target to the arrow in return for his life. At this point, Rishi Parshuram realized that Ram is Vishnu incarnate, his successor. He accepted Ram's superiority, devoted his tapasya to Ram, and promised to return to his hermitage and leave the world of men. This is the epic start of Ramayana. The first Balakanda completes here.